Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati left this world, and as Srila Prabhupada served his godbrothers and served his Guru's mission, he started in the 1940s the Back to Godhead magazine. He would personally write the articles. He would personally edit it. He would personally type it. He would personally take it to the printers. He would personally buy the paper. He had no one to help him. He would personally raise all the funds for it single-handedly. The printer, sometimes he had no money. He would just say, just print it, I will pay you sometime. The printer would say, but so many times you're saying this. But the printer could not refuse. And Prabhupada was very responsible in all of his debts. Somehow or other, he just depended on Krishna. And who was his distributors? There was only one distributor of this magazine, Srila Prabhupada, of Hai Charanaravinda. He would go out himself to the tea stalls and to the marketplaces and to the bazaars and to people's homes, and he would preach to them and get them to somehow take a magazine or accept a subscription. Later on in his life, he was getting dreams, repeated dreams, where his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, would stand before him as the very embodiment of devotion and knowledge. And he would say, come with me. Take sannyas and preach throughout the world. And when Srila Prabhupada was still in Grihastha life and he got this dream, he was thinking, how horrible. How could I leave all these things? As the years went by, he took Vanaprastha, as the Vedic system ordains. And he was living in Vrindavan, and he was doing his writings of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was also doing his Back to Godhead. And this dream came again and again. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati would come before him and call him, I have given you a mission. Take sannyas and fulfill this mission. Srila Prabhupada did not want to take sannyas for prestige. He wanted to take it for the only reason that Lord Chaitanya took it, to facilitate the need of society, to fulfill the compassion of himself and all the previous acharyas, to spread Krishna's mercy to the world. So he wrote to the leading Gaudiya Math in Calcutta, and he expressed his desire. And the head of that Math wrote back to him that you want us to print your books and you want to take sannyas, first you come here and you live comfortably. We will give you a nice, well-lit, airy room, and you become a part of our temple, and you serve the society of this temple for some time, and then we will consider giving you sannyas after some years. And as far as your books, we have so many other books we want to print, and we have so little money, so there is not much hope for this in the near future. So Srila Prabhupada understood that they were facing many difficulties themselves, but he also understood the order his spiritual master gave him. So one day he approached one of his godbrothers in Mathura, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And Srila Keshav Maharaj said, you must take sannyas, now, immediately, no wait. Our Guru has given you an order. You cannot preach all over the world and start such a movement unless you are a sannyasi. So you must do it now. And Prabhupada, after hearing from the other acharya of another Gaudiya Math saying you should wait, you should take your time, he was thinking, maybe not now. But Prabhupada said that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, through Keshav Maharaj, told him immediately now he would not leave him alone. You must. Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. So Srila Prabhupada understood with all humility that this was what his Guru Maharaj desired. So it was today. We are celebrating the anniversary. September 17th, by the English calendar, 1959, that Srila Prabhupada went to Mathura, to the Sri Keshav Gaudiya Math, and there with one other 90-year-old man named Sanatan, who was his godbrother, they sat before the sacred fire and they accepted the vows of sannyas. Krishna das Babaji Maharaj was leading kirtan. Srila Nararayan Maharaj was performing the fire yagya. And Krishna das Babaji Maharaj told our devotees, came for Srila Prabhupada's sannyas. And as other mantras was being chanted, Krishna das Babaji told us the story. That one of the devotees told him that don't chant so loud, let the mantras be chanted. So he stopped chanting. And then Prabhupada turned to him and said, chant. And Prabhupada was sitting at the yagya. And then someone would say, no, you stop chanting. So he was humbled. To chant like Krishna das Babaji constantly, you have to be Trinadapi Sunichena, Torapi Sahishnana, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadhani. So very humbly he would stop chanting. He would just, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Not stop chanting, but not chant loud. He would never stop chanting. So then Prabhupada said, chant, louder. So Krishna das Babaji said, at that moment I knew that this is a man who has complete faith in the holy name, and he is the man who will be empowered to spread the holy name throughout the world. Srila Prabhupada ki. So during this ceremony, Srila Keshav Maharaj gave his sannyas initiation talk, and then he did something that was very unprecedented. He asked one of the people who was going to be initiated, Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. He said, now you give a lecture. There was no invitations sent out because it was a very sudden decision when the sannyas initiation would be. They wanted to have it on this auspicious day of Visvaroop Mahotsav. So the only people at the mat were just the regular brahmcharis and devotees. And except for Keshav Maharaj, Nararayan Maharaj, and a few others, Krishna das Babaji, none of them spoke English. They were all either Hindi speaking or mostly Bengali speaking. Srila Prabhupada knew all these languages fluently. But when he was asked to speak, he understood what his Guru Maharaj desired. And he gave his lecture in English. Because he was taking sannyas for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world in the English language. Because that is the world's language. And then he accepted the order, and he was given the name A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. And by Srila Prabhupada's great act of renunciation of sannyas, he dedicated his body, his mind, his words, and his very life to compassionately give us the mercy of Krishna and Krishna consciousness. Today is one of the most important days for the devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Today is the day that Srila Prabhupada formally made this step of total sacrifice to save us from the repetition of birth and death and give us entrance into the eternal world of divine love, Goloka Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada ki. And Srila Prabhupada's message and mercy is available to everyone. Because in this age of Kali Yuga, the means of achieving Krishna Prema, Krishna Bhakti, is through the congregational chanting of the holy names of Radha and Krishna. So at this time, let us offer our lives at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and celebrate His mercy by sincerely chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.